Da-da, da, da-da, da-da-da-da. Who killed masculinity in video games? In 2017, masculine. 2021, gay. Let's find out. Who killed masculinity? Drum roll, please.
Does anybody else feel like masculinity has slowly been drained from modern video? Does anybody else feel like masculinity has slowly been drained from modern video games? I was looking at recent staff photos of Ubisoft and Halo Infinite developers.
What the fudge? Why are there so many women? They just gather all the women from all branches in Ubisoft and put them all together in a picture? What the fudge? Dude, I worked in Ubi for a while. There ain't no way there are that many women now. I mean, okay, when I worked there, it was ages ago, but like, there were like 3 girls out of 300 people. What is this? What is this? Paws, you do live under a rock. I do! It's an all-girl. They have an all-girl team? But why? Actually, don't answer that. I don't even want to know why.
And it's all starting to make sense. It's a bunch of fat, white, liberal women.
Damn! He went for the jugular, man.
And white, liberal women have no interest in masculine, manly, male characters. They wouldn't even know how to write one if they tried. This is why Rockstar, a company founded by men that at least in 2018 was still mostly run by men, created the magnum opus Red Dead Redemption 2.
Man, the dude is spitting hot takes. Oh, I think he's doing it to enrage people and to get people to comment so that it boosts the video more. There's no way someone is actually this extremist, is there?
A game with a manly, well-written main protagonist, Arthur Morgan. If you want to see the seismic shift
it's rage bait for sure, right?
Honestly, all you need to do is play a few games from 2006, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Consider how many masculine military games came out in the 2000s.
I mean, it probably is a bad time to watch this because Space Marine 2 came out. I'm like,
Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Brothers in Arms, Gears of War, Operation Flashpoint, Rainbow...
Yeah, and similarly, back then, you also had girly games. Your point? I mean, I understand his point and perspective that there were a lot more games that were catering to men and to violence and to quote-unquote what he perceives as peak masculinity, right?
6, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell.
Come on, you're gonna put Ghost... at least put good games there. Really?
All of these games were starring men and had themes like brotherhood, duty, sacrifice, honor. Almost all of these franchises have either been killed off, turned into multiplayer games, or went woke.
Yes, welcome to modern times when people have killed games, period. Oh, Vermintide, peak masculinity. All you do is kill rats for the ladies. Yeah. Oh... Oh yeah, he's for sure biased. Like, his version of masculinity is just being a soldier from the examples that he's giving, right? Like, don't get me wrong, right? There has been a shift in video game and what people are prioritizing. How old is the video though? 2 months ago. Anyway, there has been a shift in masculinity. I can agree with that. Like, you no longer get super hot guys, like super well-built dudes that are just kicking ass and being badass. You no longer get hot, sexy women either, right? Like, it's not just who killed masculinity. People killed both of them. You can't have peak body, well-built soldiers anymore, and you can't have sexy, hot, smoking chicks anymore. You can't have either of them for the general part. Obviously, you have exceptions, like Space Marine 2, where the developer literally came out and said, we made this game for you guys. Let's go back to another time, right? And we still have some games like Yakuza, right? They announced their new game, and that one's coming out, and fingers crossed that is going to be excellent. Yakuza is still a series they haven't fucked over yet, but they're trying. They are trying.
I often wonder why so few modern games appeal to me, and I think another big reason is this. Everything is just so gay now. Compare the games I just mentioned to the modern trash we have to deal with in Overwatch and Apex. Almost every character in these new games is either gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, or something else. Like, what happened to a masculine...
Something else? I'm like, damn.
Dude with a hot chick on his arm. I love the idea of Xbox Game Pass, but I swear every time I open it up and look for new games, there's just so many games that look gay now. I refuse.
So many games that look gay. Let's see. He has Unpacking. He has such a gay game. Yeah, he must mean happy, guys. He definitely means happy, right? That's what he's referring to. So many games are happy. What are these examples? Train is gay? For what? No Man's Sky? For what? Forager? For what?
Refuse to play another cutesy 2D platformer or...
I refuse to play a cutesy 2D platformer, so don't! There are more games now than there have ever been. Oh, like, they're cozy games. They're not intended for you who want to play a badass soldier. They're not intended for you who want to be a cowboy that's drinking and smoking. If that's your peak masculinity, that's fine. But, like, dissing these games for what? Not appealing to you? Is also, like, the world doesn't revolve around you, dude. Move on.
Or a game with a cutesy art.
Manor Lords is cozy cutesy? Yeah, Manor Lords is cozy cutesy. Like, you can dress yourself up to look really nice in your armor, okay? This guy wants to play the next COD. Yeah, but he doesn't want multiplayer games. He said that he doesn't want
by
them.
Some indie developer anymore. I'm just done with these games. If you want my 100% real thoughts on this, I just think the entire video game industry has gone woke and gay, and almost nothing there.
Oh my god! The Gears of War! Look at that! Oh... I think he's very extremist. Like, don't get me wrong, right? There has been way too many woke project or whatever people consider to be quote-unquote woke, because even the word woke, they're not even sure what it means anymore. It kind of lost its meaning and people just throw it nilly-willy to mean appealing to a diverse cast, right? He's definitely going extreme. As I said earlier, there has been a shift. There are less games that focus on perfect beauty as what is perceived as perfect beauty for men and for women. We don't have muscly soldiers. We don't have sexy ladies, right? So both sides definitely are way less available in the Western games. In the Eastern games, we still get the smoking hot stuff. And then, obviously, we had Wukong coming out. We had Space Marines 2 coming out. Like, there are so many options for people to play where they can be whatever this guy's version of manly is, right? There was an event where 90% were cozy games. Was it the indie game? There's a whole wholesome games event as well.
They're making appeals to me in any way anymore. So this is why I mostly play 20-year-old games on my channel, because they were just better. I was recently reading an insider interview about what went down at Volition Studios with the disastrous Saints Row reboot from an inside source.
Dude, I didn't even know there was a new Saints Row because, like, I agree. Saints Row had its appeal, right? Just going to beat grannies on the street with a huge purple weapon that shall not be disclosed for YouTube reasons. But we all know what purple weapon I'm referring to. That was peak entertainment and very fun, right? There have been franchises where they have killed and destroyed the soul of what it used to be.
This source said that the LGBTQ community within the company was actually pretty small, but they are the loudest and the most annoying, and the company leadership chose to promote these people into key roles.
Okay, so being loud and annoying means you get promoted? Damn, son. I wasn't loud or annoying and I got promoted at my job before I quit. The dude has a valid opinion. Yeah. He does have a valid opinion, but he's taking it to the extreme. Like, he is exaggerating way too much.
And that's how you get the absolute dumpster fire of a game that was Saints Row 2022. I think what you have at a lot of these game studios is about 80% of the staff is probably just hetero dudes trying to do their job, but they're afraid of speaking up or saying what they actually think. And then you have the LGBTQ folks making decisions about what kind of game to make. And everything just ends up being safe and soft and sensitive because, oh, we can't hurt anybody's feelings. So, of course, you get these shitty dumpster fire video games that...
I mean, to be fair, the writing has become a lot less nuanced and a lot less allowing for extreme things and stuff. Like, with that, I can agree. There have been some really shitty writing. I don't know if it's because the wrong people are like having their agenda necessarily, but definitely the people that are in charge of writing are doing a very poor job. Like, there are many stories just... I don't even know if it's because I'm growing older and I simply don't resonate with them anymore, right? Like, I'm not the target audience for those stories, but a lot of stories are very weak. Like, it feels like, yeah, they don't take risks, exactly. It feels like they're always just erring on the cautious side.
Nobody wants to play. After reading a lot of insider interviews at these developers, this is my sense of what has been happening. I also feel like there's this...
Yeah, a lot of Eastern stories are a lot better, but they suffer from translation issues, June. When they are brought to the West, sometimes they get modified a lot in terms of certain things. Other times, translation is done poorly. It's a mess, sadly.
This kind of unholy alliance right now between games journalists, white liberal women at game studios...
Insufferable Kotaku editor who gets dragged on the internet every single day. Bruh!
And the LGBTQ community
on with this
studios.
video.
And they all seem to be united around one thing. They actually hate gamers. And who are gamers overwhelmingly? Well, heterosexual dudes like us, of course.
Who are gamers? Heterosexual dudes like us. Oh, yes. Yes. Sure, dude. As a woman that has been gaming since she was 4. You go. He's doing an awful job selling. Yeah, you can tell the bias. He's not wrong in the sentiment, right? Like, he has good points and he brings them up in the worst possible way. I can definitely see that in a lot of cases, people do hate sexy. How do you make Asmongold look like he has mild takes? Ooh. Pause, you're one of the bros. I know. I do agree that people hate sexy for some reason. That is something that I've noticed. They hate smoking hot male and female bodies. Like the new Dragon Age. Have you seen the character designer for it? Like, you can't... The ass on that is flat. You can't have a nice ass. Like, the biggest slider, like, you can pull the slider to the max, and the ass is more flat than me, who sits on her ass for freaking 20 hours a day. Like, what is that? Give me my ass! Not to mention, my pet peeve, right? My pet peeve is, I can't have long hair in video games. I love the physics of long hair on female characters, especially slender, nice, curvy ones with, like, Bayonetta level of a ponytail, like, super long hair and just whipping and just doing its hair physics thing. And I'm just like, we don't have that anymore. That went away in favor of short hairs and no hair. Yeah, I want want sexy. I want sexy for female characters and male characters. God damn it. I can't play myself in video games, chat. It doesn't work like that. Oh, we don't have that because Bayonetta is on Nintendo. Yeah, I still need to play Bayonetta free. Confirmed Plus is an ass girl. In video games, it's the one thing you see the most out of. Like, stop it, chat. Stop it. YouTube's gonna look at you weird and be like, what the heck? Oh, oh my god. YouTube, you're getting the full body experience. Is that better, chat? Is that better? Like, I'm gonna stay like this. Is that better? Yeah, why can't we have this in video games anymore? Okay. Oh god.
This recent Reddit thread was written by an actual game developer and made me realize this.
Oh, so blind.
It reads, headline:
Am I allowed to say this? I kinda hate gamers. I'm a professional game designer, and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching the gaming events on YouTube last month with the chat on was extremely disheartening experience. Every time a character that wasn't a cis-het white man appeared on screen, the chats would fill with messages calling...
Alright, let me move myself so we can actually see it. Okay. To me, this is... He paid for the stock image. Yeah, look at that. Honestly, that body is a Pokemon Go sausage body. That's what I call it. It's forever etched in my mind. I can't forget the fact that they changed the bodies so that they look like sausages in that game. Yeah, very sad. Very sad.
Calling the game woke or complaining about DEI. Every game that wasn't a shooter or a hyper-casual competitive online game garnered zzz and boring comments. I've seen people implying that the MC in Fable trailers is ugly because it's a self-insert of some random level designer working at Playground whom they deemed not fuckable enough.
What is this voice that he got?
I don't know. It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess.
It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, bruh. You can't be a game designer and you hate gamers. You can't hate the people that you're trying to sell the product to. Why the heck are you a game designer? What are you even doing? You hate what? You just want to make a game for yourself? You don't want a game that people can find entertaining, that people can laugh, that people can find joy in, that can just have fun with? And also, like, what kind of game developer are you where you don't know anything about the internet? Exactly, Lilbel. Like, what is this? It's the internet, man. Stop taking it too hard. Also, like, pet peeve of mine, but why the fuck do people feel the need to use cis white man in everything? Like, vocabulary much? They hate fun. It feels like that.
Doing what it does best. But it's making me real tired of gamers.
So at this point, it seems that games journalists and all of the liberal LGBT mafia that work at...
What even is this? Trust me, until like, I think a month ago, I didn't know what it was. I Googled it and then I purged it from my mind because it's dumb. Anyone who comes to me and goes like, Paws, this cis person, I immediately label as a person whose value just dropped tenfold in my eyes. I'm sorry, but like, I don't care. I don't want to know. Why the heck are you going and spewing cis white man here and there like it's a gospel at this point? It's like, leave the men alone, man. Leave straight people alone. Like, just stop.
Game studios actually hate their audience. And this is a comment I keep reading from you guys again and again. I swear they literally...
Buzzwords are immediate grounds for ignoring you. Exactly. Like, to me, if I hear it, I'm just like, well, your opinion is worthless now. It is so dumb. It is so annoying as well.
Really hate us. They seem to be dead set on giving their audience exactly what we don't want. How long is your business going to be open if you're dead set on not giving the customer what they want? This is why when skanks like Alyssa Mercante are crying about Kotaku shutting down and losing their jobs, and game studios are going under because they were associated with Sweet Baby Inc., I just laugh. Let them burn. Let all these companies burn who don't know how to give the audience. The wonderful irony in all this is that
Oh my god, man. I laugh at the video itself, but like at the same time, people need to grow up and learn that they need to make something that they enjoy making. Like what some games don't have anymore, and what's killing things in games is that people are just not giving passion. Like they're not putting passion into it anymore. They're trying to milk you for all your worth. They're trying to milk you for money. People say that like Overwatch characters, the ones that come out, right? That oh my god, they in Valorant, they care so much about representation. Thank you, I'm so seen. No, they do it to milk you for money. They couldn't care less. You are just a metric to them, and it is worthwhile to mention something to get you to play and be involved and care. And if it's not convenient in another country where it's, you know, taboo or bad, they remove it from the game. So companies don't care. They don't care about representation, diversity, inclusiveness, only women teams and other stuff. They care about milking you as a consumer. And it's like, people are voting with their wallets. Guess what? People aren't going to buy a game if all you have is trying to force it down people's throats. It doesn't work like that. Like, where's the passion?
it's the very games that the woke cancel mob has tried to cancel that seem to do the best.
Yeah, this was a really funny one. Especially because this game, funnily enough, was actually very inclusive. And people were like, people were boycotting it so hard it actually got way more popular. It's crazy. Yeah, the game was very fun. Like Hogwarts Legacy was very fun, very enjoyable, super cool combat. I really liked it as a game. It's like people hated on it, and like it still sold because it was a good game. How about you make a good game?
Remember Hogwarts Legacy? Yeah, men who dress in women's clothes tried to get it canceled. Instead, the game sold 25 million copies. Oops. Remember Elden Ring? Remember how the woke mob tried to accuse FromSoft games of having...
Like, see, there is where I disagree with it, because I don't think that femboys or transgender people necessarily were the ones that were trying to cancel it, right? It's like, I think it's important to note that terminally online mental people were the ones trying to cancel it. How's this guy on YouTube? Man's unhinged. He is unhinged. He is really hateful, honestly. He's like definitely a person with an agenda. Like, it's not the people. Like, that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, I don't understand this extremism. Because both sides are very extreme. And both of them are just terminally online people that are trying to like, flame the fires of rage. Like, dude, I know trans people that played Hogwarts Legacy. And they were fine with it. Every single person is different. There are some people that can't differentiate. Like, for them, it's easy to be keyboard warriors. It's easy to sit in their chair and be hateful online. It's comfortable. Jesus.
Having, quote, problematic depictions of women? Oops.
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone's an activist. That's the thing that people don't understand. Like, stop trying to make it about us or them. It's more nuanced than that.
Sold 25 million copies. At this point, making an offensive game seems to guarantee that game's success. We could talk about Stellar Blade, pissing off all of the liberal progressives, and yet everybody went out and bought it. Okay, so in the rest of this video, I want to give you 4 examples of a game or game series going from masculine to feminine or gay, and it basically either killed or ruined the franchise. Number 1, Ubisoft and Red Storm Entertainment. So Red Storm Entertainment was a video game company founded by the legendary Tom Clancy to make Tom Clancy video games. He sold the company to Ubisoft in the year 2000, and Ubisoft in the 2000s actually had some balls and made some of the manliest games you've ever seen. There were the Splinter Cell games,
they had
Ghost
balls?
Recon games, the Rainbow Six games, and the Far Cry games. All of these games pretty much feature exclusively men, and these IPs in the 2000s had so much testosterone, just a single glance from a woman in their direction would get her pregnant.
Wow.
I mean, motherfucking Sam Fisher, come on.
Wow. Sounds like he's gay for the game. That's apparently testosterone, yes. Yeah. Oh, God, man.
The dude is the ultimate Giga Chad. Scott Mitchell in Ghost Recon. Now, you pick your own character in Far Cry 2, but it's definitely a manly game that will put hair on your chest. So what is Red Storm Entertainment up to today? Well, I recently saw that Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland is being led by a man who dresses in women's clothes in his free time. Now look, I don't give a shit if you want to identify as a dragon and go around laying magic eggs.
Clearly you do give a shit because you're being disrespectful to people because it's impossible for you to respect someone else because you blame them for ruining whatever you had a boner for. And you're making fun of them for no reason. It's like, if you didn't give a fuck, you wouldn't bring it up and you wouldn't make it the main focus. Yeah, he's getting way too personal, honestly, for my taste. Like, there is no reason to attack people over it in, like, at a personal level. Like, let people identify as they want. How does that affect you? With what does it affect you? If it's like, oh, it doesn't affect me, but, you know.
But can we agree that the least masculine thing on earth you can do is dress in women's clothes? Tom Clancy.
I mean, tell that to the Scots. I don't think this guy even knows. Should anyone tell him? Yeah, give the man a kilt. Should anyone tell him? Fun fact, pause, this guy actually used to love making videos praising Rey Skywalker from the new Disney Star Wars, but now he's just grifting. I mean, grifting is profitable. It makes you money, right? Like, he released the video. It has 2.5 million views, right? He released the video. He has a lot of views, and like, that alone is making him a fortune, provided he didn't get limited in ad revenue because of all the hate that he's spewing. Not even that, the entire fashion for the 1300s to the 1800s. Like, you know, the fun part for me is, like, I look at it and I'm like, dude, if a man, right, has the guts to dress as a man, like, not taking trans people that want to transition into being women, right? I'm talking about men just dressing in dresses, like, or drag queens or stuff like that. If you have the fucking guts to put on a dress and go out, like, you are more manly than the people cowering in fear going like, I can't do that, I care about the opinion of other people. It's like, bruh. Bruh. I don't know. I don't know. So what even is manliness at this point? What even is feminine? It's so subjective and so based on, like, your own, how you grew, your culture, your upbringing, where you're from, how much you know about other people's traditions, about the world. Like, what he said is like, oh, how dare you dress in a skirt, right? It's like, kilts? Kilts, anyone?
He would be rolling over in his grave right now if he knew the absolute disaster that Red Storm Entertainment had become. Number 2, Wolfenstein. So I was recently playing Wolfenstein.
I actually heard the opposite. Only men can dress in drag, and it's actually a meme. It takes a real man to be the best girl. Yeah, pretty much, chat. The problem is when they start to demand to be treated like a woman for wearing a dress. Is it a problem though? With what does it bother you?
The New Order for the first time, which came out in 2014. And I have to say, of all the games I was sure were going to avoid woke Western progressivism, this game was pretty high up there. The first 3 entries of the reboot were all fantastic. They had the badass BJ Blazkowicz, an absolute unit, as the main character, ripping apart entire armies of Nazis with the sexy and smart Anya as his arm candy and wife. Machine Game's first 3 Wolfenstein entries, which came out in 2014, 2015, and 2017, are all great. They have normal men and women doing normal shit in them. Awesome. But of course...
Normal shit. Okay, bruh. He's going into trad wife stuff, yeah.
Of course,
Jesus
the woke
Christ.
mob had to get involved somehow. So you have a beloved series with a beloved, tough, male, manly main character. Do you suppose it's a good idea to kill off that guy and replace him with cringy girl boss characters? Wolfenstein Youngblood came out in 2019, and it's an absolute tone-deaf disaster. So many modern video games, I find myself asking,
oh my
who
God.
wanted this? Who asked for this? I often ask the same thing of the new...
Oh, I mean, yes, it was crap, but are we really going to, like, go, yeah, it was completely normal to have the Nazis? Really? Like, there are things that suck, and it's not necessarily because of the gender of the lead. Like, you can have a good lead of either gender. If the story is good, it doesn't freaking matter. Oh.
Star Wars shows by Kathleen Kennedy as well. The Wolfenstein reboot had the perfect synergy of story and gameplay. You are BJ Blazkowicz, unleashing his rage on the Nazis for killing everyone he loved. You see this come across in his brutal assassinations, like sticking a rusty pipe through the eye socket of an SS Waffen commander. But the setup to
It's normal to kill Nazis in a video game, is what he meant. Maybe. Like, but it looked like it was like they're just doing normal shit, and I'm just like, being a Nazi is normal. that was the part I was like, huh? That was very confusing. Hi, Luke God, welcome
Wolfenstein
in.
Youngblood is incredibly cringe. In it, you play as BJ's daughters, and they're honestly nothing like him. The first time you kill somebody, they don't really want to do it. And when they finally kill the guy, they have to have lattes and talk about it afterwards. Youngblood is a perfect example of how a cut.
Yeah, God forbid after you kill someone, you need to process that. It is so feminine to process that. Oh, Jesus Christ, this guy, man.
Scene can go so wrong in a game. BJ's setup is perfect and explains to you why you're doing the actions you're doing. BJ's daughters, however, are acting like they're in an episode of Big Bang Theory the whole time, but oh yeah, they just happen to be killing Nazis and haha, isn't this so funny? It's tonally all over the place and just so full of cringy and awful cinematics, which is ironic because the cinematics in the first 3 games were like so good and short, and they got to the point and they were really emotional and impactful. Example number 3, Gears of War. For a full explanation of how the woke mob girl...
You just wish people would make good games again. Enough with politics, woke, pandering. Just go back to amazing, great stories. I agree. Like, I agree with that. Like, it's... Like, adding this entire narrative of trying to, like, grandstand and morally insert things just because you think that's what sells without the reason to have it there and a reason to have it as a story. It is definitely a hard pill to swallow with a lot of these new games. Like, as I said, in a lot of them, the story just sucks. Because if the story is good, no one cares what the gender is of the main lead. Literally no one cares. I've played games where you were a male character. I've played games where you were a female character. I've never once gave a damn about the gender of that character. Not even once. If the story is good, it's good. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, I played it. I loved the game. It was great. It was fun. Did I care that I was playing as a guy? No. Like, why would I? Oh, God. Yes, Battle. This is the masculinity video. It is a hard watch, honestly.
Bossed Gears of War. See my video on that game, but I'll keep this short. The first 3 Gears games are an incredible trilogy focusing on the bonds and brotherhood between men. They're incredibly masculine games, focusing on duty and sacrifice and military orders. And I know some of you hate this, but for 10,000 years, it's only been men fighting wars. Sorry. The first 3 games focus on Marcus, Dom, Cole, and Baird and tell a masculine story of brotherhood. Well, the progressive woke mob somehow got to Gears of War, and Gears 4 and 5 are about sisterhood, motherhood, being a traitor, and what it feels like to be a woman. They introduced the character of Kate Diaz, who I don't think anybody gives a single fuck about. What they should have done is put Kate in a spin-off game, not a mainline Gears entry.
Should have been a spin-off game. Oh, man. So his problem is the fact that he no longer identifies with the manliness because it's a woman. Got it. Oh, fair point. Sure, whatever. You can just have a different series with a woman lead. You can have a different series. That's perfectly fine. Like, sometimes just inserting a woman just cause is fine. But like, at the same time, again, I don't know the story. Was it a good story? I'd have to look into it. You guys can let me know in the comments as well. Women fought wars too. Yeah, they did. But people don't really care about that. They're only like, who's on the battlefield? He doesn't know much about history. He doesn't know much about Europe, honestly. Like, I can tell he doesn't know anything about Europe. Like, the guy is clearly incapable of, like, learning about history, learning about what happened here, learning about, like, how people had to fight, how it didn't even matter. Like, people were out there with pitchforks. Kate was okay initially, but she became shit later.
But here's the problem, of course. Nobody would have bought it. So, unfortunately,
It's so easy to say nobody would have bought a game as a hindsight. It's like, why exactly did you buy it and play it? If it's not something you want, just vote with your wallet. Don't purchase it. Move on. Do you have to buy every single game in a series? If you don't like it, just don't buy it.
Gears 4 and 5 are basically girl boss, feminist, Gears of War, and any masculine story about men is put on the back burner. Of course, the games include Baird and Marcus in them, but they're really on the back burner.
Like, if you want to go back in the VOD and listen to what I said that women have fought in wars as well. They just didn't fight the same way men did. I never said that we had an army of women that were marching in Europe. Like, stop making shit up and trying to blame the fans of hatred.
And Gears is now about Kate Diaz, who I've never talked to a Gears fan even cares about. Moving on, example number 4. The Saints Row reboot. Saints Row spent 10 years building up characters and building up a very distinctive and edgy and male sense of humor. It's the kind of stuff...
Male sense of humor. We're coining the male sense of humor, right? I guess I have a very male sense of humor, chat.
Stuff you and the guys would laugh at. Some of the recurring characters in Saints Row are Johnny Gat, Julius, Aisha, Shondi, and several others. In these games, the men are men and the women are women.
That is the statement of the year. Men are men and women are women. Yeah. Oh, God. I'm sorry, but like the fact that we're running around with a purple weapon, smacking things, robbing things, burning things, setting things on fire. I do not think that we are just men and women, regular, ordinary ones. Oh. I don't know what vision he has, man. Is your version of a man like just having to be military and just, I don't even know if I can say badass in this case. I guess it's like, is that what it is? Is that what being masculine is about? Like just being buff and having a gun? It's like this guy literally is like, is he that insecure that he feels naked without any of that? That is not being masculine, man.
Johnny is edgy and hilarious and always has a hot chick on his arm. The humor is crude and hilarious in the same...
Also, to clarify before people take it out of context, that is not the definition of masculine. It can be masculine.
Saints are always getting into trouble. So what went wrong with the reboot? Well, the woke 2022 reboot thought it was a good idea to kill off every single character from the old Saints Row games, and I guess they thought we would be cool with that? But don't worry, all of the beloved characters you've come to know and love have been replaced with tokenistic characters from a literal seminar on diversity. You've got the gay Asian man, the girl boss lesbian, another girl boss lesbian, and the gay black guy. The LGBTQ mafia didn't just kill Saints Row, they crucified it on a rainbow flag.
So they basically tried to pander to a different audience with the series, and it was not a success. I don't think it has anything to do with what the character is, personally. Perhaps it is, perhaps it isn't. Like, I don't know. I've never seen the whole extremist wokeness of things, right? To me, it's just the writing. I mean, first of all, I didn't even know about Saints Row. Even though I played other Saints Rows and I loved them and they were great, I didn't know about the new one coming out. So marketing failed on my side. And the second part for Saints Row to me is, from what I can tell, it just seemed like it was very boring story-wise. And they also removed a lot of the violence.
And this is what you get, guys. This is what you fuckers get for supporting these people. They turn out shitty games that aren't funny, that aren't cool.
Dude, you literally bought Gears of War 4, despite saying that women don't belong in the game and they should have been a knockoff. Like, who are you preaching? Why are you being hypocritical? Like, stop buying the games! It is literally that simple! Just stop buying them!
That aren't masculine.
And stop making videos profiting off of it and bringing attention to it and mooching off of it. And play what? I don't know, Wukong, Space Marine 2? If you'd rather play slop, what do you think they're not gonna sell you slop? Silence is acceptance? No, it's not. Silence is actually better. Silence is literally better because you're not promoting it. You're not giving them the exposure. Like that crappy game, Dust, whatever the fudge it was called, No one knew about it until people started raging about it, giving it exposure. Like, people spend way too much time enraging themselves and raging about it. Like, the best way to get your way is to vote with your wallet. Stop spending your money on slop that you don't agree with just because you're too bored. Well, if you're too bored, then you literally don't actually care. Congratulations, you're the problem. You're the reason they keep doing this. You're the reason that they are killing masculinity in your video games, because guess what? You're still buying it. Clearly, you don't care about your masculinity in video games. It is so bad. PlayStation 5 is such a scam. The Pro version is such a scam. Cha-ching! Purchases it. I thought you said it's a scam. Yeah, but I can't not have my latest update. I need my 5 extra FPS. It's like, oh.
So stop hiring these people. Game developers need to stop putting gay stuff in games, and they need to fire every liberal white woman if they want us to ever buy a game again.
Yes, fire every liberal white woman, even though she's slightly on the liberal side. And it has to be... And it has to be a white woman specifically. Oh man. I don't know what he smoked, but he's really angry.
I'm serious. We are done.
Pause, why are you watching this video and giving it attention if you hate it so much? Same argument. Well, first of all, I didn't know how the video was gonna turn out. And second of all, I don't hate it. I am actually very amused by it. I find it very silly. And it also is a great way to filter out the people that are very extreme and have the bros beliefs, right? It's a very good video to sniff out the people that are extreme on either side, because they're gonna listen to me on YouTube and they're gonna be like, I can't stand Paws anymore and I'm subscribed. And good riddance. It's a great video for me.
Done with this shit. We're not.
I don't know about you.
Games. Like, Phil Spencer is out here complaining about how people aren't spending as much money on games anymore. I guarantee if you give us hetero dudes hot chicks in games again in manly men, you will see sales go through the roof. Bring back the glory days of video games.
You're not gonna see sales go through the roof because you have that in games and you don't buy them because they're still shit, some of them. Like, you need more than just hot chicks and guys in your video games. You still need a good story. You still need good mechanics. Make good games! Make good games! What about Palworld in Minecraft? Exactly! Like, just make a good game. In Palworld, you can be whatever the fudge you want. You can make your character look ridiculous. Ludicrous levels of ridiculous, right?
I have this theory that in a few years, we're going to see a turn back to the golden era of video games, and people are going to start buying games again.
Yeah, people are still buying video games. Like, it's gonna be a golden era, but not for him. Yeah. Don't no one tell him, though.
I recently saw this crazy chart from 2023 that basically showed that people are only playing old games these days. Nobody wants to play.
I literally saw this one document that's saying people only play old games. I'm like, dude, you can literally Google and find an article to validate your biased opinion on the internet. It's not that deep and it's not that hard. The problem with golden eras, right? Like, the guy has an issue with cozy games existing. Just existing. That's a problem to him. It threatens his masculinity that we have Stardew Valley.
Play anything that's new out right now because it's all woke and it all sucks so bad. So anyway, guys, let's all hope there's...
Hey, anyone want to put money that he's going to play GTA 6?
a return of masculine characters in games again at some point that we can relate to. All right, I'm out.
Oh, God. I think you would also pre-order it. Oh, God. I mean, he had some good points, but, like, Jesus, he is so biased. So extremely biased. I can't. Like, it's funny. It's very funny. I want good games. I want games that are made with good mechanics in mind and that don't have politics and left this, right that. Like, as a European, I look at it and I'm like, the fudge you guys talking about? What are you talking about? I don't even understand your political system to the level that you're taking it. I'm like, you guys aren't talking about like being slightly left or slightly right. No, you're talking extremists. Oh, that's all there is online right now. Like, what the heck, man? Oh, insane.